I'm Mohammad Bataineh. I'm the Associate Professor of Forest Health, and we're talking about the fire management class at the University of Arkansas at Monticello, the College of Forestry, Agriculture, and Natural Resources. We conduct prescribed burning almost every spring semester as part of the class. This is basically the field/laboratory portion of the class.
I'm gonna wrap it around a little bit before we start going across with it. Stuff changes real fast.
The class is geared toward teaching the students how to plan and implement a prescribed burn. This is a fuel model 9. So we're expecting a flame length of 4 or less, exceeding in certain situations where we have high wind or too drive conditions. A prescribed burn is a controlled burn that basically aims to achieve a desired condition from a forested stand. Those conditions are meeting a certain management objective, and the students basically get to take those management objectives with assigned stands and work on developing a burn that would basically create those desired conditions.
Yeah, copy. It's pulling together real good out here too.
Those desired conditions can be for wildlife habitat improvement, could be for hazards fuel reduction, they could be for timber management, for multi-purposes, multi-uses. What we aim to do with the class is to give the students a hands-on experience as much as possible, where the student is gaining confidence in the application of fire and putting fire on the landscape, knowing the risks, knowing the uncertainties when it comes to predicting weather and fire behavior, and how to use basically state-of-art software that will reduce that uncertainty and allow the managers, or the students in this case, to apply this treatment to our natural resources. We go through the class and we basically go over the fundamentals. Then the students get to visit those assigned stands, and we slowly throughout the semester build up the components of a prescribed burn plan that includes almost everything you can think of, from a legal requirements of notifying the Arkansas Forestry Division for smoke management purposes, or an official legal burn notification, to looking at fuel loads and estimating that, and how what kind of fire behavior would we be expecting within those stands, giving those fuel loads and given the conditions of the stand. The class is 100% student-oriented, hands-on oriented, where they do everything themselves, and basically all I'm doing is nudging them in the right direction, ensuring that they're making progress toward that burn plan toward the end. Then when we come toward the end of the semester, we basically ask for support from our partners, and in this case, for this class and for this burn, we received assistance that we are grateful for from the Arkansas Forestry Division, represented by District 1 employees. The District 1 employees were on site with us, providing logistical support in terms of dozer presence, in terms of torches presence, all of that kind of stuff. And basically, between us planning and them implementing with us, we had a very successful burn with really no glitches whatsoever. We had predicted fire behavior and predicted basically, or anticipated the weather conditions for that day, and we could not wished for a better day for that burn. Everything went according to plan. We had to adjust some of our ignition patterns to accommodate the changes in wind directions that we basically observed that day. But all in all, it was a 100% error-free burn, which is really great for such a class. So the purpose of, regardless what kind of burn you're on, you always do safety briefing at the beginning, just to ensure that everybody that is participating on that burn knows exactly what is planned, how it's going to be implemented, why it's being implemented, where are basically the strategic supplies of equipment, tools, all of that kind of stuff, in addition to ensuring any kind of hazard is being addressed within that specific unit for that day. So we've discussed the presence of any dead trees that were around. How is that going to present a risk to personnel safety, people on the fire lines, students included in that. We discussed a smoke pattern. How is that going to be impacting our smoke sensitive areas from the campus community that we have to the hospitals, to the schools. We discussed our ignition patterns and crew assignment. So we basically kind of run through everything that we're going to be doing for that day right before we do it, in order to ensure that there is no miscommunication whatsoever when we are on the fire line trying to do what we're trying to do. We do not allow anybody that participates in these active fire drills to not have their personal protective equipment on them. So we do supply Nomex uniforms for the students. We do supply hard hats if they don't have them. We insist on wearing their boots, insist on all basically material that would ensure safety for those students when they're on the fire line. Here at the College of Forestry, Agriculture and Natural Resources, we believe in providing the student with a wide span of a background. And we try to ensure that they have the critical core information that they need to become competent resource managers when they leave our college. So fire is a core course in the curriculum, and all students are required to take it for the simple reason that fire management is used in wildlife habitat, is used in timber resource management, is used in restoration ecology, is used basically frequently in our management of resources. So fire is one of those building blocks that we use in our teaching of natural resource management at this college. When it comes to fire, we have fire adapted communities, and we have this interaction between fire and the landscape, and we try to emphasize this ecological use and ecological role of fire in our classes, with providing that field component where the students basically link what they're learning in terms of lecture and theory, and they get to apply it as well. Our students are usually very excited about fire, and fire provides them with this large understanding basically of how we go about managing natural resources. We also allow our students, or we build into the class, component of certification where the students become red card certified if they choose to do so. Red card certification allows our students to participate on federally managed incidents of wildfire events. Therefore, they can seek employment directly after they obtain this certification with the federal government fighting wildfires out west or wherever they may occur. Fire is a lot of times, fire is a starting point for our students, so they basically it gets their foot in the door with management agencies. But some of our students chose fire as a career, and we have just recent graduates will be working with Forest Service as basically fire personnel in addition to other responsibilities.